I had a lot of really interesting stories from when I was traveling. Actually, when I was in high school, I lived in Thailand for a summer. And in Thailand, they eat rice at every meal. So eating a meal is called eating rice. And they actually eat their meals with a spoon and a fork, which I, as an American, thought that all Asian food is eaten with chopsticks. And the first meal, they called me to come down, and they roll their R's so much that they sound like L's. You know, and here I'm, this American, my first night in this new country, and my Thai mother comes down and says, "Come, eat rice." But what I heard was, "Eat lice." God, what have I got myself into? And then the only time they would use chopsticks is when they were eating Chinese food, which I thought was very funny. But I couldn't get the hang of the chopsticks. I just didn't have the small motor skills. It took me till I was in my, late 30s to figure out chopsticks. And then I finally figured out chopsticks, and when I was traveling to China at work, when I was working and doing global marketing, and I was so proud of myself. I'm finally getting chopsticks, and I'm holding food on it and getting the food into my mouth using the chopsticks. We were at a big lunch with a number of my colleagues in China. It was probably 8 or 10 of us on a big table with a lazy Susan, and I don't know who the Susan was that was so lazy they had to name the utensil thing around her, but that might be another story. So I'm so proud of myself. I'm using the chopsticks and getting food in my mouth, and then this Chinese colleague of mine leans over and says, "Would you like me to ask for a fork?" I was so crushed. I was like, I guess I was choked up too far down on the chopsticks. I had to learn to use them differently. It's really depressing.